Hello everybody, this is John from USA London. Welcome back and thanks for watching. If it's your first time on my channel, as always, welcome. Today I have another video for you guys. On today's video is what are the list of documents you need to add to your affidavit of support form. If you want to know something about that, just stay tuned and I'll be right back.
USA Monde.
If you file I-864, I-864EZ, which are affidavit of support forms, you have to provide a list of documents to support that forms, okay? And most of the time people send me a message, oh, what kind of document do I have to submit with my affidavit of support form, or how many copies, is it got to be a photocopy, is it got to be an original copy? So what are those documents? That's one of the reasons why I decided to make this video for you, just to help you out to know exactly what kind of document you need to add to your affidavit of support form before submitted to NVC, National Visa Sender. Okay, I don't want you guys to cry about it. It's not that complicated. Like I said, I promise you I'm going to show you exactly the list. If you have any question, just leave the comment in the description below, and I'm also going to leave a link of where I get the information from the USCIS website in the link in the description below. That way you can check it out for yourself. Okay, that's it. I don't want you guys to get frustrated about it. If your NVC, National Visa Center, send you an email or requesting you to submit an affidavit of support form, then now you know exactly what kind of document you need to add to that form in order to petition or sponsor the intending immigrant. Okay, so if you're ready, let's go in front of my computer so I can show you exactly the list of documents you're gonna need. Okay guys, as I said in the introduction, today's video is gonna be about the supporting document you add to your affidavit of support form, either is I-864 or I-864EZ. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the supporting document all the sponsors, okay, have to provide. So I'm gonna read and then I'm gonna explain it to you. Okay, so over here it says a copy of your individual or federal income tax return, including W-2 for the most recent tax year, or a statement and or evidence on describing why you were not required to file. Okay, so it means that you're going to provide excuse me, it means that you're going to provide a copy of your federal tax return. So like if you are employer, or if you are self-employed, at the end of the year we file a tax, right, a federal tax return. So you have to provide a copy of that tax return as a proof that you are working, you are financially stable, basically, to support the intended immigrant. So but if you didn't file the tax like a previous year, whatever, you have to show proof that the reason why you didn't file the tax, basically. Okay, and then also a copy of each and every form of 1099 schedule. So if you are self-employed, meaning that you kind of like, or maybe a contractor to another company, at the end of the year you file your 1099, so you have to provide a copy of that, and any other evidence of report income. So if you have another source of income, you have to provide evidence of those source of income. Okay, so over here it say you may submit this information for the most recent 3 tax year pay stub from the most most recent 6 months. Okay, so if you, it's better to provide the most recent 3 tax years, like let's say you filed tax 2017, 2016, and 2015. You have to provide those 3. Okay, but if you wanna use your pay stub as a source of income, as a proof of income, then you're gonna provide 6 month pay stub, basically. Okay, 6 month pay stub, basically. And also you can also provide a letter from your employer if you believe any of these items will help you qualify. Or you can also provide a letter from your employer saying that your employer will say that of course, you work on, you are an employee and work for his or her company, or basically, okay, it's gonna be a letter from your employer. So that's the document. Any sponsor, it don't matter. All sponsors have to provide those documents. So now, let's move to other document you're gonna provide on top of the one I just talked about. Over here, if you are currently self-employed, you have provide a copy of Schedule C, D, E, or F from your most recent federal income tax return, which establishes your income from your business. So if you are a business owner, you are self-employed, you're going to provide a copy of your Schedule C, which is like a business tax form, like 1099 I just mentioned. You have to provide a copy of that to show that you have income coming from your business. Second point over here is, if you are sponsoring more than one intended immigrant, list on the same affidavit of support. Photocopy of the original affidavit of support may be submitted for any additional intended immigrant listed. Okay, so what does that mean? What that mean is, if you are supporting, it can happen that you're supporting 2 or 3 intended immigrants to come to United States of America. What you're gonna do in that case, you're gonna provide a photocopy of the original affidavit of support of any additional intended immigrant listed. Okay, like the second additional intended immigrant listed, you have to provide a photocopy of original affidavit of support of that person. The third one, you're gonna do the same thing. Okay, and then a copy of supporting documentation are not required for these family members. Okay, so in that case, a copy of supporting documentation are not required for these family members. These family members mean those additional intended immigrant. You don't have to provide any a copy of any supporting documentation for those people. It gotta be just the original affidavit of support. Basically, that's what this part is saying. Okay, and then from there, we're gonna move to. Okay, so over here on third point, it say, if you are the petitioning sponsor and on active duty in the U.S. Armed Force, Coast Guard are sponsoring your spouse or your child using 100% of a federal poverty guideline, proof of your active military status. So if you are in the military and you're sponsoring for your spouse or your child or children, you know that your income requirement gotta be 100% of the poverty guideline instead of 125% of just a civilian. Okay, but you have to prove that you are in military. Okay, that's what this is about. And if you are over here, it says if you are using the income of person in your household or dependent to qualify, a separate form I-864A for each person whose income will use. So if you don't meet the income requirement to sponsor an intended immigrant, then you can use the income of your household members, okay, to be qualified. In that case, any household member whose income you're using have to provide have to fill up a separate form called I-864A. I talk about it many times in some of my videos. And also, however, an intended immigrant whose income is being used need to complete the I-864A only if his or her spouse and or children are immigrating with him or her. So in some situation, the intended immigrant also can use his or her income to be qualified to meet the income requirement to sponsor him or her. In that case, that person will only file an I-864A if his or her spouse or his or her child or children will come to the United States of America, will immigrate into the United States of America with him or her. Okay. Then from there, we're gonna move to the next point, which is proof of residency. So all those household members have to prove their residency. So over here is a proof of residency, their residency in your household in relationship with you if they are not the intended immigrant or are not listed as a dependent on your federal tax return for the most recent tax years. So what this means is if the intended immigrant is not your dependent or which is listed on your federal tax income, then they have to provide a proof of residency, meaning that they're living with you, prove that they're living with you. Maybe their driver license will show your address, or prove that their relationship with you. Maybe they might be a friend, or they might be your brother, your sister. So they have to prove their relationship as well. Then from there, we're going to move to the next point over here. So the next point is going to be proof that the intended immigrant's current employment will continue from the same source if his or her income is being used. So if the intended immigrant is using his or her income to qualify to meet the income requirement, then his or she has to prove that his income will still coming from the same source of income, basically. So if he or she has a job, she just got to prove that she's currently having a job by showing his or her pay stub, basically, or a letter from his or her employer. Okay. Then from there, we're gonna move to the next point, which is over here, a copy of the individual federal income tax return, including W-2, so and 1099 for the most recent tax year, or evidence that they were not required to file. So the household member who is helping you, who's putting the income available to you to sponsor the intended immigrant, have to show actually submit a copy of their federal income tax return, the most recent federal income tax return, including the W-2 and also a 1099 in case they are self-employed or they are contractor to another company. But if they didn't file any tax return, they have to show the reason why, proof of the reason why they didn't file the tax. Okay, like most recent tax, basically. And then from there, we're going to move to the next point, which is in case, like over here, say, if you use your asset or the asset of a household member to qualify documentation of asset establishing location, ownership, or date of acquisition, and value. So in case you didn't make the income required, but you have asset you want to use to meet that income requirement, you have to show documentation. Basically, if you have a property, you have to show the property documents, the location of the property, the ownership, meaning that your name is going to be on the document, and then the date you acquired that document. If it was a land, the day you bought the land, or if it's a building, a house, the day you bought a house, and the value of that house or that land, and so forth. And also evidence of any liens or liability against this asset. Let's say you bought the house. Let's say your asset is the house, and you bought it through a bank, but you didn't make all the payment yet. You didn't finish making a payment yet. So you have to show documentation showing that the bank the bank bought you the house, but you didn't finish the payment, basically, meaning that you didn't own the house yet. And also, and then from there we're gonna move to another point, which is a separate form I-864A for each household member using asset other than the intended immigrant. So in case the intended immigrant, the household member, using an asset to help you qualify to help the intended immigrant, so you have to fill up a separate I-864A, okay, which I talked about earlier in this video. And then from there we're gonna move to another point. If you are a joint sponsor, okay, if you are a joint sponsor, meaning that you're helping the main or the primary sponsor to sponsor the intended immigrant, or substitute sponsor, meaning that the main sponsor die or is no longer available to sponsor the intended immigrant, then you come to substitute that sponsor, or the relative of an employment-based immigrant. So employment-based immigrants basically somebody who's trying to become come to United States of America based on employment. So if you are a relative of that kind of person, an affidavit of support, proof of your U.S. citizenship status, lawful permanent resident status, or national status. So in that case, if you are in that category, then you have to provide a proof of your U.S. citizenship, okay, proof of your lawful permanent resident status, which is a green card, or U.S. national status. So proof of U.S. citizenship can be your passport, your naturalization, or a copy of naturalization. And over here, U.S. national status can be your birth date if you were born here in the United States of America. And then from there, we're going to move to another point, which is for U.S. citizen or U.S. national, a copy of your birth certificate, passport, or certificate of naturalization or citizenship. So that's what I just talked about. You have to provide a copy of those, okay? And then if you are a permanent resident, sponsor or the intended immigrant, you have to provide a copy of both sides of your form I-551, which is your green card, a copy of your both side of your green card, okay. And then lastly here, if your legal guardian is signing this form I-864 for you, in case you are a minor and you have a legal guardian who is signing this form for you, is this affidavit of support form for you, or not even a minor, because I don't think a minor can sponsor an intended immigrant. You have to be at least 18 or 21. I can't remember exactly the age, but yeah, in that case, if you have a legal guardian that is that is oversees your property, your asset, or whatever, and you don't have the right to use those assets for by yourself yet to sponsor somebody, then the legal guardian have to provide the proof, that is proof of an appointment as a legal guardian of your estate. Let's say you have a house, but you are no you don't have a right, you don't have an age, you don't reach an age where you can use that property to sponsor, use that asset to sponsor somebody. Maybe it might be a house or a land, whatever. Then your legal guardian have to use that asset on your behalf, basically. But that legal guardian has to show proof that he's the legal guardian, okay? And also a copy of an order from the appointing court or agency, specifically permitting the legal guardian to make your income and asset available for the support of the sponsor immigrant. So basically, a copy, if the court, or it is a court or agency that give permission to that legal guardian to use your asset to sponsor an intended immigrant on your behalf, then the legal guardian have to provide a copy of those documents as well. So that's what this part is about. So roughly, those are the additional document you have to add to your I-864, which is Affidavit of Support form, or I-864EZ, in order to sponsor an intending immigrant to come to the United States of America, or a person, an intended immigrant who is already living here in the United States of America, maybe trying to adjust his or her status to become a permanent resident. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys love it, learn something from it. If you know somebody who needs to watch this video, please share with that person. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to see more video like this one, all you gotta do is subscribe. Once again, my name is John. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.
USA Monde.